the author here is trying to say, irrespective of the fact that our psychic, our environment, and our genes, our genetic structure as humans could make life so difficult and make it really hard to be on the proactive side of positivity. And then we just want to be sunken in our negativity, which is the reactions, and then blame everything around us. We might be correct, but however, in the midst of all these contradictions, there's usually a way, there's usually something that will help you to outlive them. And that was what Man's Search for Meaning is all about. And so, how can you and he said it's about making meaning out of your suffering. How can you make meaning out of your suffering? Because seriously, these things are easier said than done, because when it comes to the point where someone just gets you angry, your spouse gets you really mad, your child gets you so angry, what your instinct, your natural reaction is to shout, to scream, hey, stop that, hey, but then how do we, in the midst of this, that's what the writer is saying, how do we find meaning in it, in this suffering, or sufferings of life, the hardships of life? As a student, there are times you have exams coming up, but then you just want to sleep, you want to rest, but you just find yourself, you're crying, but you keep reading because you know what, I must make an A. And when I make an A, it's going to lead to a good future, for a better GPA, which is going to be a better security for my future. And so you keep your eyes on the mark, so that's what you're able to keep pressing on. And that is one very key thing that is important to go through life in terms of suffering. And so the suffering is not the end of the world. It's so easy for us to think we know what is going on in our minds, but we do not know. We act so absent-minded in, generally, it's so hard to think, it's so hard to be aware. And that's one thing this man has written as a solution, the self-awareness index. Self-awareness is critical for you to be able to change you or change the way you react. Then you must be aware of yourself. You must know what is going on in your mind, in your life, and in your body. Especially people that suffer from maybe anger bouts, you get easily angry, and then they say, oh, it's in your family, your father is to get angry, your parents, your great-grandparents, you can break it. You can be that transitioning person that is able to transit your generations and generations after you into the positive headspace you ought to be. Just like we read in the book, for a lot of people that went through abusive childhoods, but then they consciously took the matter into their hands and said, no, I wouldn't say because my stepfather treated me badly, I won't get married, or that I will be such worse parent to my children. No, I will change the narrative. Irrespective of what I've been through, the ones coming after me must enjoy a better life. I must change myself, and I can't allow the odds of the past to injure the future of those ones coming after me. And that can be you, that can be me, breaking whatever transitions, breaking whatever negativities that runs in the blood, in your family. No, you have power over your genes, but then it begins from the place of self-awareness. And that's why I want us to take this exercise briefly. Okay, so it says, practicing mindfulness is number one. Now we have to shut out our bodies. You have to try to feel yourself. Forget about you're in a meeting. Forget about you're on the camera. Forget about we're having a book review. Just concentrate on yourself and look deeply within you. Try to observe your body from your mind. Try to see yourself. What's happening to your hands? What can you feel in your body? What sensations can you feel in your body? Are your hands shaking? Is your leg hot or cold? Is your feet hot or cold? Is your tummy, how do you feel in your tummy? Does it feel relaxed? Does it feel tense? Does it feel tight? Are you strained? Are your shoulders, your hands, your fingers, how do you feel? Your palm, how do you feel? So notice what you feel currently. Because of them, I will have had people talk about how they feel, but we don't have time. Notice what you feel, and then proceed to imagine a positive experience. Notice probably you're shaky, maybe you're having slight strain on your head, which you call headache, or maybe pain in any part of your body. Just calm, and then think of a positive experience. Think of something that has happened to you, maybe when you were a child, one of your best moments in life, something positive that has happened to you. And then just imagine what has happened to you How was your experience? What was the smell of that place? What was the scenery like? Who are the people that were there? What made you happy? Why is that moment special to you? And as I'm talking, I'm remembering a scenario with my father at the beach with my siblings. He was holding my hands. I was walking through the bar beach, the former bar beach. And then I see him holding my hands. We went to buy chocolates, eclairs, goody. We were just having fun walking by the waters because I was so scared to ride on the horse. And it was I can still remember the smell of the river, the smell of the sea. It was clean, it was beautiful. And at some point it started to stink, and then we moved away from there. Oh, okay, so what does this feeling do to your body? Now go back to your body sensations. Go back to how you feel. Do you notice any difference? Do you notice any change in your body sensations? Were you feeling hot before and now you're feeling cold? Were you shaking before and now you're calm and stabilized? What was it what does the good narrative, how has it changed to your body? How has it changed the sensations you were experiencing in your body? And so this is a classic psychological class therapy. And this is what they will say to practice mindfulness. That is, you are present. It is not your body that has taken over you. It is not your emotions, but that you and your will are present at the same time, at the scene of whatever just happened. So we are advised to practice this like over and over again until we are able to retain ourselves and composure. And that way we can then act, having reasoned it thoroughly, not acting according to impulse like reactive people would usually do. But then we'll begin to act with meaning. We begin by the time you're self-aware of where you are, the position you are alert, and then you are able to transpose to the position of consciousness, and then you can think about your conscience. Okay, what I want to do, is it right? Is it right to eat this person? Or why don't I just put my hands in my pocket? And then you move to imaginations, and then, okay, if I slap this person, what will happen? Okay, if I put my hands in my pocket and decide to just keep quiet, what would happen? And then eventually you're able to make a personal decision of your independence. Is okay, if I slap him, things will go bad. This place will scatter. I'll be seen as a bad person. And if I do not slap him, I live to talk another day. I will not be arrested by the police. And I can address this issue in a better way. And then nobody gets hurt. And then, okay, my decision, I decide to not to eat the person. Okay, I'll resolve this another day. And that's it. Done. So that's the classic psychological aspect to this. However, I would say that at every point in life, I looked at this and I said, sometimes we can be proactive, sometimes we can be reactive. We can't take that out of life. You can't be like if we look back on decisions we have made in life, we see ourselves at both ends. I can't see anybody that will say, no, I have always been proactive. Or another person, yeah, you can say I've always been proactive on major decisions in life. However, but on day-to-day life, there are times where you might have eat your kid, and before you realize yourself, what did I just do? You might have, said some things that you ought not to say. But why did I do that? And so this is the importance of these activities and the consciousness that we need to be that transition between the proactive and then between reactivity and proactivity. And so that proactivity is where we are expected to be, but then it is a gradual process and it is an everyday victory. And that's why this is the number one habit to practice, because without this foundation, it's impossible to move ahead to be able to practice other habits.
Taking responsibility for our mistakes, not passing the blame to somebody else, no buts. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Once there is a but there, or because, it changes the whole narrative.